Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna definitely need to get like an intro for my YouTube because I notice more and more people are subscribing to me, so you know, I'm excited for that, but um y'all. What is the goth band recommendation for today? I honestly don't know. I recommend so many goth bands, like I don't know, like I want to keep doing that in the beginning of my videos, but I also think that with my uh, shorts and stuff, because I do that on TikTok all the time, is do goth band recommendations. I do that all the time, so I might switch over to that, unless you guys want me to keep giving goth band recommendations, which I'm all down for. But sometimes I forget which ones I recommend and which ones I'm not in the recommending. So, you know, um, I will definitely say, I think for the goth band recommendation today, I want to say let's do my cat is staring at me like, what the fuck are you doing? um we'll go ahead and do the band Nosferatu. Now, something to know about goth bands, a lot of goth bands is, if, because a lot of it's like based off of vampire stuff, right? Like, if there's a vampire movie, there's most likely going to be a goth band named after that vampire movie. So, you know, keep that in mind. But it's a good band. It is a good band. I will say that. It is, I love that band. Um, they're, especially their early stuff, and I seen a video of them live, like, I'm not sure how long ago. I'm not sure how old the video was, but it was good. And I really like them. So if I like them, you need to like them. So go look up that band. So what is today's video going to be about? Is it going to be a rant? Yes, it is going to be a rant. Is it going to be a necessary rant? Probably not. Is it going to be an opinionated rant? Yes. Yes, it is. It is about, I've been seeing all over that new Lady Gaga song, right? Oh god, that's great to open up this fucking thing with, right? Um, but yeah, this whole Lady Gaga situation that's going on, right? Like, she released two new songs that, like, are goth influenced, and everybody's just like on the wagon of that because I guess she used the part from Spellbound by Susie and the Banshees in her song Abracadabra. But it's an interesting topic because a lot of people are saying whether or not she's a goth or whether or not Lady Gaga is goth music now or becoming a goth musician and stuff. So I would like to give my thoughts about this. And hopefully I don't upset Lady Gaga fans. And, because I don't know, might be upsetting, but. So if you want to keep listening to this video, just keep watching and all that stuff. Now, I just want to point out that this is in no way, shape, or form a hate video towards Lady Gaga, nor is it towards her fans and etc. This is just a video of my experience about this musician and the whole connection with goth, right? And it's kind of hard to put it like that because, who am I to judge whether or not somebody is a goth or not, right? But there's been a lot of debate lately on the internet that I've seen of, oh, Lady Gaga is becoming the next goth queen and etc. And is she a goth? Her music's definitely not. Like, music wise, her music is definitely more pop thing. It always has been. And like, the issue that I have with this thing is it's kind of hard to put it because I do know, like, Lady Gaga's like stories and stuff like that. I'm not a fan or anything like that. It's just like I know she has some history with the goth subculture, right? Like this ain't like the first time that she's had goth instances, goth topics around her, you know. Um, when she, you know, was in that season 5 of American Horror Story, you know, that whole album on American Horror Story was like mostly goth bands. You know, you had the Sisters of Mercy, you had She Wants Revenge, you've had The Cure. There was that particular song, Spellbound by Susie and the Banshees, on that season. You know, you got Bela Lugosi's Dead, Bauhaus, you know, all that stuff because that was very much a vampire type themed season. And you know, it even goes back a little bit further than that. Like I remember when one of my favorite musicians, Curly, her music came out. Like, oh, they both came out around the same year, but um, I think Curly was just a tad bit before, right? And lot of people started comparing Lady Gaga to Curly because you know Curly or not Curly, Lady Gaga, um, low key kind of stole some of Curly's inspiration, like you know, style wise and stuff like that. And it was kind of interesting because like Curly at that time as a musician, you know, people were, you know, she was kind of under the umbrella term of what a bubble goth would be or a perky goth, right? And it's funny because her music's not necessarily goth either. It's more, you know, pop music and stuff. But it was just more of what I think from what Curly said, it was from a music critic that, you know, said her music's not goth. If anything, it's bubble goth, right? So she kind of like took that and, you know, made it into her own thing, the bubble goth look and, you know, music type of thing. Which, you know, she definitely has a lot more like goth related. Like it depends. Like she did a cover of a Bauhaus song. She's in parties, but I definitely remember, you know, at that time, Lady Gaga fans and Curly fans were like kind of going at it with each other because, you know, Curly was pretty kind of a good big inspiration for like you know Lady Gaga fashion wise and stuff like that, you know. But um, and I think that's all like buried in the dust now, and a lot of people don't remember that. But um, you know, so she does kind of Lady Gaga does kind of have that dabble within like you know the goth subculture music wise. And I'm not saying like it was because of her that the season 5 of American Horror Story had those really great bands in there, but it is kind of interesting, especially when now the song Abracadabra is being very much compared to Cities in Dust, which that song was in fact on season 5 of American Horror Story. Or not Cities in Dust. Oh my god. Spellbound. Jesus, what the fuck am I talking about? But anyways, you know, so I can definitely see her as a person being gothic rather than you know, her music. And you know, the thing is what a lot of people don't understand is like, you know, if she does make a full-on goth album, right? Like the thing that's kind of upsetting about this whole situation is, you know, her fans and all of the media and the Grammy with the Grammy Awards and everything like that. They're because Lady Gaga is such a huge platform and everything. Sorry, excuse me. They're gonna be looking at that and think, "Wow, the goth queen, the only goth queen out there, the goth music queen. You know, she's the queen of all goth and everything like that." That's what exactly what they're gonna do. You know, like they did it with Demi Lovato when she put out a rock album. They were like, "Oh my God, Demi Lovato, best female rock musician there's ever been, when at best her rock album was pop punk music, right? Like, that's just how it's gonna be. And it's unfortunate because the reality of what this thing is, if she does plan on putting on a goth album and stuff like that, it's just gonna be a phase for her. Like, and it's not necessarily a bad thing because there's a lot of musicians that don't do goth music anymore, like The Cure. There's Susie and the Banshees, the Bauhaus, the Damned, but it's the fact that it kind of, to me, when a huge celebrity like that does something like that, just for the fashion and aesthetically wise, that's the only reason she'd want to make the album and stuff like that. It kind of loses the point and brings this stereotype of, oh, goth is just a phase situation back, if that makes any sense. And it's funny that I say that because um, what makes her so different from The Cure or Susie and the Banshees or Bauhaus, when The Cure is like one of the biggest rock bands out there, you know. But the thing is when it's pop music being compared to rock bands and goth music in general, pop musicians, like Lady Gaga, they're glorified so much more than what rock musicians and goth musicians are. Like the popularity of The Cure, even though it's a really big band and everything, but this is the popularity of pop music. And it's sad. But that's the reality of what I think is gonna happen. And it's just like, the whole phases of like goth stereotypes, but people are thinking is gonna be goth, like people think that SoundCloud is goth, people think that emo is goth and stuff like that, and I think this is exactly gonna be one of those things. And even if it's like a proper goth album, like I said, we know that Lady Gaga's, she's not gonna make two albums in a row like this. She's gonna make this album like this, and then the next album it's gonna be some country jazz thing, and that's perfectly fine. That's her right to do that, and I understand where she'd be coming from not wanting to be a musician stuck to one thing, because no musician likes that. But I don't know. I don't, I just don't like the idea of her making, I don't know, it's kind of difficult to explain, like in all honesty, if she does make a good goth album, then it's, a good album, but it's I just don't want, her fans or, the media to blow everything and be like, oh, this is the best goth thing ever. She's goth royalty and all that stuff. When there's been musicians that's been busting their asses for like years, like just for that. It's just full on over. That's just my take on that. It's random ranting. I'm sorry, but that's just what I think is. I think, um, you know, I'm curious to see if she would make a goth album. I'm curious to see if she even does listen to the music. Because, like I said, while those bands were on season 5, I don't really know if she actually. Well, I guess we could tell from Spellbound, right? If she actually listens to those bands, right? Like, we never know, and I'm curious to see what it's gonna be like. It's a decent song. I mean, Abracadabra, it's everywhere right now, and oh my god, is it on my nerves sometimes. Like, like I've been seeing nothing but like a whole bunch of these TikTok guys and TikTok kids and stuff like that, putting on a abracadabra thing, like, this is so goth, this is goth, she invented goth and everything. And it's true. You look at that stuff and you see the comments and stuff, and everyone's being like, yeah, it's so goth. And then anyone who dares be like, well, they're definitely gonna be getting their asses kicked. But, you know, it's just a thing. And like I said, it's probably gonna be a phase for that, for that moment thing, and it's gonna fly on over. But, we never know. So that's what I think. And I think I'm done with my rant. So, if you like this video, give it a like. If you like my channel, where I apparently do nothing but rants now, fuck, um, subscribe, all that stuff. So, yeah.